Hey, everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan. I have 5 stories for you tonight and mostly about Ripple. But first, I want to give a very sincere thank you to CKJ for having me on his channel and doing a very painless interview yesterday. I had a lot of fun, so thank you very much. Okay, well, take a look here. SBI. As you know, SBI is one of the most important uh, partners for Ripple, especially in Asia because of the SBI Ripple Asia partnership. And if you look closely, this is SBI Bank. But what do you see here? Do you not see Russian? Yes, you do. If you've been following SBI closely, you would know that about a year ago, I think it was actually in September of 2017, they purchased this bank wholly in Moscow. And recently, it's a full service bank, and they just recently rebranded the bank's name on the 3rd of June. They announced to their customers that the Central Bank of the Russian Federation Bank registered a new version of the bank's charter with a new name of the bank in connection with which on the 3rd of June 2018, the previously existing name of the bank, Yar Bank LLC, was changed to SBI Bank LLC. So this is right there on Leningradsky Avenue in Moscow. And if we take a look at the About page, you can see that it has a Japanese approach with Russian panache. Love it. They have individual accounts, full service, and also corporate customers where they provide trade finance, payroll, settlement, and cash services, conversion operations, says the best terms and conditions for lending, and customer service on foreign trade activities. When I took a look, I wanted to know how big is this bank? I was able to find the financial statements ending December 2015. Sorry, I couldn't find 2016 or 17. However, in the end of the business year 2015, the total customer accounts, as it says here, were 4,468,739. So it's quite a big bank, and I think they've got a lot of money coming in and out for their transactions. So how does that relate to today's story? Let me explain. Today, July 9th, 2018, SBI Holdings has announced a notice of memorandum of understanding on strategic partnership with a leading Russian commercial real estate group. So the group, which operates the largest real estate and marketplace businesses in Russia with assets of more than 40 billion, this is represented by a gentleman by the name Mr. Roman Liev. Okay, so remember that. He's one of the most prominent and distinguished business group owners in Russia. These assets include some of Russia's most prestigious marketplaces, such as the Food City, which possesses the market share of over 30% of the fresh food consumed in the city of Moscow, as well as hotels, convention centers, shopping centers, office buildings, and recreation facilities. So SBI's group FinTech Fund, okay, so don't forget that either, has already invested into SF Holdings Company PLC, which operates microfinance businesses as Simple Finance, okay? And one of the fastest Simple Finance is one of the fastest growing fintech startups in Russia for small and medium-sized enterprises. So they're an SME. And it has a partnership with marketplaces operated by the group. All right. So you have Simple Finance, and they already have partnerships with the marketplaces that are operated and owned by the group. And remember, that group is what SBI signed a strategic partnership with today. All right, so let's keep going here. If we go back to September 2017, that Simple Finance entity we just talked about attracted investment from SBI FinTech Business Innovation Fund. So a year ago, SBI bought the bank, and a year ago, SBI made an investment in Simple Finance. And then we have this third party, which is the real estate group, which was announced that SBI is going to work with. And so the three of them together really create a powerful partnership. If we take a look at one of those partners, or one of the owners of that group, here is Mr. Liev. He is a longtime partner also of a gentleman where the two of them have built trade centers, hotels, residential property in Moscow. And the pair who moved to Moscow from Azerbaijan, they own roughly 14 million square feet of real estate in Moscow. So the partners have developed a 225-acre wholesale distribution center, Food City, remember, mentioned in the memorandum, in Moscow, and also several shopping centers in Moscow's outskirts. So if we take a look, he is on the Forbes list of billionaires, ranked as number 703. He's 51 years of age. He's self-made, lives in Moscow, and is married and has 2 children. And it says here, did you know he is the son of a shoemaker? So Liev helped make shoes as a child. Yeah, so I think this is very interesting because as a partner to Ripple, we now, as Ripplers, I think, have a very big foot in Russia. And I just want to remind everybody, this FinTech Fund. So if we go to the SBI website, and we can see here in the FinTech Fund, it's part of what Mr. Kitao believes is the FinTech revolution that's taking place in the financial world. And it really mentions Ripple in a big way down here in their, oh boy, this is a lot of information about their strategy moving forward. So here we have creating a new finance business leveraging blockchain. So it mentions here specifically that they have invested in U.S. fintech companies such as Ripple and R3, which hold advantages in distributed ledger technology, which is technology related to blockchain. With Ripple, we have established SBI Ripple Asia, which is a joint venture, and Ripple is drawing worldwide attention for its success in all parts of the globe in practical testing using the Interledger Protocol platform, which was developed proprietarily. So it goes on. And actually, if you want, I'll put this down in the comment section, as I will all the other websites that we've looked at. But it actually refers to Ripple quite often in this document because no doubt SBI really sees Ripple as part of their strategy in using and utilizing blockchain. Okay. Well, this was a great new story that just broke about 36 minutes ago. Cryptocurrencies could become mainstream payment solution within next decade, finds new Imperial College and eToro report. Yeah, so finally we've got some academics that are speaking highly of cryptocurrency and the blockchain. And in particular, I want to come down, it's a great article. I'm going to put it down there, but this is what they really refer to as far as cryptocurrency getting so close to becoming used in mainstream. So it goes on to say that new payment systems or asset classes do not emerge overnight, but it is worth noting that the concept of money has evolved, even in our lifetime, from cash to digital or contractless payments. The wider use of cryptocurrencies and cryptocurrency assets is the next natural step if they successfully overcome the 6 challenges that they set out in this report. And then a little bit above, perhaps the thing that will ultimately tip cryptocurrencies into mainstream is the issue of cross-border payments. These remain difficult and expensive in many cases. Cryptos are cross-border by design, enabling wealth to be transferred far more easily. The potential for this to be leading the case looks very strong. I just think, we sometimes see the academics come out with such a negative slant that I was happy to see this press release that's just literally less than an hour old, and I'm sure that it's going to be out and about on many news platforms in the next 24 hours. And yet another real positive story for Ripple. This is a small and short story, but it talks about why, here's why Stellar and Ripple are not in competition. And it just really says it quite succinctly and very well. And the reason why Stellar and Ripple are considered to be top choices for new investors is that of their price. So the two cryptocurrencies charge a small price per token, which makes them ideal for mass adoption while appealing to investors who are not willing to invest in that much money at the same time. So it's just really takes you through what the differences are and how their goals are set on 2 different paths. And so both of them can coexist nicely. And it says, in fact, the 2 are complementary to each other. So I'll put this down there also. I think it's a real great story. Okay, if you're using Twitter, you probably already know about the XRP Tip Bot. But I have to be honest with you, I was slow to come around on this one. And I figure if I was slow, there's probably other people out there who are also slow. So about the XRP Tip Bot, this is one of the best things I've seen in a long time. The XRP Tip Bot is created to enable Reddit and Twitter users to send tips, small amounts of XRP, to other users to show appreciation for helping or sharing information. And to do this, a user can simply rely on a post or comment with the right syntax while mentioning this. You have your different syntax for which platform you're using. And the tip bot monitors, mentions, and processes the tip. This is just the best thing I have seen since sliced bread. So if you are using Reddit or Twitter and you want to send a little love in the way of XRP, let me point you in this direction. So thanks to Robert Lee for pointing me in this direction. And I just can't wait to tip people with XRP. Well, I'm getting close to the fluff story, and it actually ties into the situation that we're having down in southern Japan, which is the flooding and landslides. As you know, Japan is very mountainous, and when we get too much rain, there is real risk for landslides. And so far, the death toll has risen to about 112, but there's still a lot of missing people. So here's a picture of one of the cities. I think this is maybe in Okayama. I'm not quite sure. This is okay, so maybe this is in Hiroshima, but actually the disaster is quite widespread. It's Okayama, Ehime, Kyoto, Yamaguchi, Fukuoka, Kagoshima, Hyogo, Shiga, Gifu, Kochi, and Saga prefectures. So it's a very wide area and affecting lots of people. It just looks absolutely horrendous. However, there is some kindness and goodness in these really bad stories. So I just wanted to give a shout out to CZ for giving $1 million to the West Japan Disaster Relief Fund. So that was done about 24 hours ago. And if you want to if you want to help, you can do so anonymously or in a named donation. And he has set up two Ether donation addresses where you can send directly to Binance, and Binance will then take care of that donation. And all outgoing transactions from the Binance donation address will be explained by Binance and used for charity purposes only. So I just wanted to say thank you very much to CZ for stepping up and helping out the people who really need it down in the southern part of Japan. Okay, everybody. That was your news. Here comes your fluff for the day. When we say thank you in Japan and many other parts of Asia, Korea, Vietnam, China, many Asian countries, we bow. And this is actually kind of an instructional poster for training used in Japan. It's a little strange, I'm not quite sure, but there are three types of bows. There's the informal, formal, and very formal. And the first one, which is informal, is at a 15% angle. And you don't bow from the neck or from the head or from the shoulders, but there is a real technique. There's a real art to bowing, and it's done at the waist. So you have the informal, and then another 15 degrees, which takes you to the 30 degrees, would be a formal bow, and then 45-degree angle would be very formal. So let's just take a look at some of the occurrences when we bow. This actually isn't all of them, but these are many. So here's 14 reasons when you should bow in Japan. So the first one is greetings, of course. I greet all of my friends on whether it's running into them in the building, or if you're out on the street, or you see someone you know, it just comes automatic. So it's just a little nod, and it says here it's at 10 degrees. So it's a small one, but it's just another way to say hello. So that's the first one. And then, of course, when you are introduced to somebody, so all introductions, um, when you're introduced to anybody, you would bow, and an expected bow would be at 30%. And with your hands usually down to your side. Sometimes women put their hands in front and the men put their hands to the side, but that changes depending on the situation. This is a cute picture. These are little elementary students, and they're learning how to be, I think, safety. Um, they'll wear this little ribbon, and they'll um, be trained on safety of the road. And so they've got their instructors here, and they are bowing in the introduction. This was a bow that President Obama gave, which had a lot of controversy here. And, I don't worry about it so much, but he gave a very deep 45-degree angle bow, which was fantastic. But at the same time, he reached out and wanted to shake the emperor's hand. And the Japanese were like, no, 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 no. It says, Obama was widely criticized for his bow. However, this is a common mistake. Well, he wasn't criticized, but I think people found it. He actually was criticized. Yeah, he was criticized by some people in the U.S. because they felt that he shouldn't have shown this kind of form of respect to the emperor. But I'm not going to get into any politics here. But the point is, I'm trying to make is that if you do a 45-degree bow, you don't shake hands at the same time. So it's either shake hands or bow. This is a caretaker of a killer whale, and even the caretaker is bowing to. It looks like it's a girl. It's bowing to her whale. And then in Nara, which is one of the old capitals in Japan, there are deer at the temple. And these temple deer have, for centuries, seen the Japanese people bow at them so often that now the Japanese deer bow. Really, I'm not kidding. So the deer will bow also, and you can bow and they'll bow back. They will bow back. A bow takes place in all sports events in Japan. So this is a game. I think this is probably a game that was concluded. And here it says this is often a shallow bow of 20%. And sumo has actually more bow than 20%. But yeah, at the loser and winner, but the loser really bows deep when he loses his match. Then there's a religious bow, which is done at a Shinto shrine or temple. The shrines are part of the indigenous religion, if you will, of the Japanese people. So it's the Shinto shrine, and then there's the Buddhist temple. But you do bow at both before you pray. And then, of course, in all forms of martial art, you bow. In Japan, all the staff, whether the staff that cuts your hair or the staff at the department store or the staff, this is the Shinkansen, everybody will bow to you. So in the Shinkansen, as they leave the car, they bow first before they walk on to the car in front. Even the grocery store, when the vegetable or any of the staff, before they return back into the back room of the supermarket, they bow to the customers in the store and then go to the back. So it's just, even if somebody's talking on the phone and they're talking on the phone with nobody around them, you'll see the Japanese person bowing while they are talking on the phone. It is that deep into the moray and culture. Here is the kind of training poster of how to bow in the company. If you park your car, when you pull your car out, the parking car staff will bow to you when you leave. Even when you get gas, after you get gas and they pump your gas, and then you exit the gas station, the staff attendant bows to you in Japan. And you have a bow of thanks. This is a tear jerker when you go to a wedding. The bride customarily gives a letter to her parents and then gives a very deep bow to her parents after she reads the letter. And I can tell you, everybody's in tears because these letters are designed to make everybody cry. Here's a performance bow. Yeah, this kind of bow, actually, I didn't play shamisen for long, but I played the 3-string instrument called shamisen in Japan for a little bit of time. I wanted to try. And when anytime before you started your lesson, you always had to give this kind of bow to your sensei. And they do this kind of bow also in tea ceremony. So this is a very traditional, deep bow. Here you see two geisha giving a bow to their customers. Yeah, probably before a performance. Yeah, or maybe even after. I'm not sure on this one. So you also give a bow on all types of apologies: mild, regular, serious, or panic apology, or very serious apology. And then this is an actual video that will take you through the different, I think 8 or 9 different types of bows. So you can see here, this is, all the different types. This is one when you are this is a ojiki. Ojiki is a apology for all types of professional situations. Yeah. So anyway, if you're interested to actually see how to do all the different bows, I will put this link in the comment section as well. All right, and that finally brings me to my final bow of thanks. I wanted to say thanks again to CZ for making those donations, his $1 million donation, and then making the links to let other people participate. And I want to thank Rob Lee for introducing me to the XRP Tip Bot. That was just really a wonderful find. If you don't know about it, please take a look. I was a little slow to get the knowledge on that. And last, I want to say a thank you and a deep bow to CKJ for the interview yesterday. And I'm going to leave you with just this Japanese proverb: one kind word can warm 3 winter months. So be sure to give some kind words and a thank you to someone who deserves it. And I'm sure you'll be able to warm 3 winter months. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for hanging in there with me. I hope you have a really wonderful week, and I'll talk to you soon. Sayonara for now. Bye-bye.